Hey everybody, this is Jack R, otherwise known as Raconter1, and I'm here again to let you know that I have just crossed the threshold to 4,900 videos. And so the saga continues. And as of the moment, I have approximately 9,423 viewers. So, I'm on my way to 10,000 viewers. And from what I understand, when you get to 10,000 viewers, 10,000 subscribers, then you get a plaque from YouTube, which would be very nice. So I sure appreciate your subscriptions, and if some of you haven't subscribed yet, you could take me up to that next level, and I sure would appreciate that. Well, I have too many comments right now. The channel seems to be going rather smoothly, and I am uploading videos ahead of time. So that's a big improvement, and it's a lot more structured than I had gotten previously. So I'm getting my act together here, and I must say, I'm sure happy for all the nice comments that I get. But I must also say that I have had a sharp uptick in the number of negative comments. And basically two reasons. Number one is my early videos, I moved the camera around pretty fast. And I can agree to that. That was my fault, my problem. The camera wasn't that great. I have a better camera. And so I don't do that as much anymore, so I can understand those comments. And other comments have to do with I wish we had a better, wider view of the car, and that to some degree is the limitation of my camera, which in that particular mode has a rather narrow view. And also the situation where I find myself competing with traffic and in danger of getting run over by moving further back, and also the crowds that get around the cars and so on, which I've previously mentioned as a problem. But then there's another area where I must say I don't really have an awful lot of control. And that's when I mention that a car is maybe, let's say, a Trans Am. Turns out that it's not a Trans Am. It's a car that has been somebody has upgraded, and it's a replica, whatever. So I am then castigated as if I'm trying to pull a fast one. And some people don't understand that when I take videos, these are not my cars. These are cars. I must have an awful lot of cars if I have 4,900 videos and have an awful lot of cars. And they don't understand that I am the first to admit I don't have technical knowledge of all these cars. I'm very familiar with cars that I've owned, but certainly the vast majority of cars I can't say I've ever owned them. And I do have some knowledge, but not a heck of a lot. So I put them up for your enjoyment, and some of the negative comments are really bad, like why don't you learn how to video, and you're an idiot, all kinds of nasty comments. So you know what I do? I just eliminate the comment, and they can't make comments, whoever that person is can't make comments on the channel anymore. So that's how I handle that. So I try to keep it a positive thing, and say vast majority, by and large, it is a positive experience, and people enjoy it. And people like to share stories about the cars that they've owned, especially cars that look just like the car that I just videoed. So with that in mind, I'll tell you a little story about a car that I'm pretty familiar with, and that was the '64 Galaxie 500 XL convertible that a friend of mine had. Bought it absolutely brand new. He had a '63 Galaxie, he traded in to get the 64. He had the biggest engine available, and it was this chestnut color, which is almost a dark purple, very, well, I would say purple. It was like plum color, I guess you would say. It was a beautiful car, and he took us, there were 4 of us, and piled in the car and took us for a ride in the back roads of New Jersey, and he went fast, and it had a 4-speed, and that's as fast as I'd ever gone. He reached 100 miles an hour, and I was concerned, but that was it. I never went that fast again. But at any rate, it was an interesting experience, and I found a car that is very similar to that. It doesn't have the same engine. It has the base V8, but the color is the same, and the interior. I have a feeling that the car I knew had a black interior, but this one has a white interior. So I am attaching that video of that 64 Galaxie that I saw just on Saturday, this past Saturday, locally here, and I'm putting that, mending that to this video here, so you can take a look at that car. Quite a car. The sad story is the guy that the friend, he was a classmate of mine at college, and he had married and had 3 kids, and he always had cars on his mind. He was in the automotive business, and at any rate, he went racing at a speedway in Texas, and was in a fatal accident. So he died early. Gee, it must be, it's been quite a while now. It's probably about 15 years ago. But it's one of those things that whenever I think about that Ford Galaxie 500 XL, I think about him, and the sad thing that about the family that he left. And I knew his wife too. She was a very, very nice woman. So, you know, that's the way it goes. So I'm going to add that video onto this, and thanks again for your support. I sure appreciate it, and I have uploaded videos already that have gone past this 4,900 mark. So we're going on, and we'll, not too long from now, we'll be reaching probably 5,000, and I hope to have 10,000 subscribers fairly soon, so that would be great. So take care, everybody, and stay tuned to this video about the Ford Galaxie. Here's that 64 Ford Galaxie 500 XL that I was telling you about at the local car show. Again, it's not the one that I rode in back in 1964, but and the engine is different. This one has the 289 V8, but the one that I rode in, I wasn't all that familiar with engine sizes and so forth back then, but it was either the 390 or the 427, because the guy that who owned it was really a gearhead, and it was special order. But this is a beautiful car here with this white interior, and this one has automatic. It's funny though how cars remind you of people and events in your past. And how you associate people with certain cars. And for me, this car will always remind me of my classmate and friend, who came to an end doing what he wanted to do, car racing. And the collision, from what I gather, what I heard, wasn't his fault. Somebody else ran into him, but it was a fatal collision. And as I remember, he was racing a Mercedes of all things. And so thank you again for your patronage, and I sure appreciate your loyal subscriptions.